Bourbon and Boxing, episode
69, dudes!
What is up? You heard it, guys. Episode 69 of Bourbon and Boxing, baby. Welcome to a little Saturday morning show. We've been doing this the last couple of weeks, so you won't see me with no bourbon. It's too early for that bullshit. But I got some coffee in my mug, ready to talk about this big fight weekend. Of course, some fights last night. This is a big weekend for boxing, man. I really liked it. 3 title fights on the line, big title fights. It's going to be an awesome little week, especially today, Saturday, one of my favorite fighters. But, man, how was your week, Big Spade? How'd everything go for you? Smooth?
Man,
No, you
smooth,
didn't get it
just
from
grinding.
home? Yeah,
Just
yeah.
grinding, man. Grinding and grinding and grinding. Birthday Monday, waiting
Oh,
on that.
yeah.
About to be the good Kevin Durant out this motherfucker when he played for
Yeah.
OKC, 35.
Ooh,
On f-
yeah. Oh, yeah. You
yeah.
talking the good KD.
Yeah. Yeah, the good KD out here. But man, my week was good though. It went fast. How was your week?
It was a busy week. Kept me going. I worked all the way. I had Friday and Saturday off, so I can't complain. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was like, I'm gonna clean my house. I ain't do a damn thing yesterday. Then,
That's how it be too. That's how
right,
it be.
then I sat down. I was like, I'm gonna finish up the show, have it ready to go for Saturday morning. Started sipping on my bourbon. Next thing you know, I was twisted. I was like, damn. My wife came home. We drank a little bit more. It was 3 in the morning. I'm like, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty good week overall, man. I enjoyed it. You watch those Pro Box, man. Let's give Pro Box some love, man. They finally got a nice little Friday night platform last night. They usually fight on Wednesday. They've been around, I feel like maybe a couple years longer. Might be longer, and I'm not for sure about it. But they always put on great cards on Wednesday, give you great fights, great fight cards, and they finally got them a championship fight, man. Uh, with Lamont Rhodes Jr. I don't know how they pulled this one off. I wasn't for sure. I'm not for sure. I guess I wasn't for sure who he was signed to. Uh, but they got
Nah, he a
Lamont.
free agent. He a free
Yeah, that's what
agent.
that's what I was thinking. So that makes me think, man, if Pro Box is into signing these guys like Lamont Rhodes Jr., why not a Shakur Stevenson? Make a run at that guy. I mean, really beef up what you got because I like Pro Box a lot with their announcers. They're honest, they're truthful, they're not, they don't bullshit you. A lot of former fighters, I like what they usually have to say. Now, I didn't like the end of that fight where you had 6 dudes talking to Lamont Rhodes Jr. That was fucking like, instead of just having one dude talk to him and translate it in both
Yeah.
different languages and shit. They had like 6 different people coming up talking to this dude, and at the end, like in line, just like at the end of the fight in the ring. And I was like, that's a little corny, but what I mean, outside of that, great fight overall. Lamont Roach Jr. Man, Fergal McCory is a tough motherfucker, bro,
Hmm.
because he just took a complete ass whooping in that fight.
Yeah.
And he just didn't want to go down. His corner just eventually had to throw the towel in. I mean, you're watching a guy get beat like that. Those 2 body shots he took to get up from that, holy fuck, bro! Like he immediately like took that body shot, went down, took a smart little 8 count, gets up, and Lamont Rhodes comes right back, hits him right in the fucking gut again. And this motherfucker, and I thought for sure that it's over with. No way he's getting up from 2 body shots like that. Dude
Yeah.
fucking got up, man. Showed a lot of heart. But Lamont Rhodes Jr. showed me a lot yesterday with his potential. But also, like I said, I don't know much about Fergal McCory. He was tough, but he didn't show me a lot of skill wise. So it's
Yeah.
hard for me to really like that. I think this is like maybe the second time I watched Lamont Rhodes Jr. I do like what I see, but at 130, where would you place him?
I don't know. I mean, shit, he got to be at least number one, number two, cause he a champion. He
Yeah.
good, but I ain't gonna lie. I seen him kicking his ass and countering dude to death. I somehow I dozed off and woke back up for a little second and seen that he won. I'm like, yeah, I knew he was gonna win. He was
Yeah.
countering. He was countering him. Dude was dropping his hands a lot too.
He was
And
hitting him with
he was coming in with no expectations like the dude like he was coming in, but that shit wasn't nothing. But I could say this. If Lamont Roach fights somebody with that pressure that know what they doing, they gonna give him a problem. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Cause he ain't gonna be able to be just sit back and counter all day and go side to side and not bring the fight to him. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So if a motherfucker that bring that pressure, that know what they doing, get to him, it's gonna be a tougher fight for him. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So his back gonna have to be against the ropes for him to start trying to put pressure. But I don't know though. That fight was easy, so it was like it was tailor made for him. Cause dude was coming to him. He was able to counter. And
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I fell asleep after the fourth round. Like, oh yeah, he got this, bro. That's too easy. Cause he was already yeah, he had dropped him once.
Yeah.
The first drop when it looked like he slipped, but he didn't. And but he hit him with the hook, and then his glove touched the
Yeah.
canvas. Like,
Yeah,
so
man.
I'm like, yeah. Then I watched the round after that. I'm like, yeah, this shit over with. I'm tired. I can't stay up. I know he about to win this fight. I
Yeah.
can tell how it's going. Then
I think
like I
they
said,
did, they did pop it off pretty early, man. I think it got done by what, like 10:30,
oh
11 o'clock. Like,
nah, it was like 11 something. It was
and
late.
like I
Yeah,
said, I started
I
getting
was in
twisted.
my
I lost track of.
in my head, I'm like, damn, bro. They started it. The fight started it at 8, but they ain't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like 11 or something. Yep. But
Yeah. Well,
Lamont Rose, like I watched him a couple times on PBC too. Was it PBC or Top? It might have been Top Rank. And
yeah,
then
I can't
when
remember who he was with for some reason. Like,
he was coming up, and then when I seen, I ain't gonna say I wrote him off, but I kind of wrote him off when I seen he lost to Jamel Harrington or whatever the case may be. I'm like, damn, Jamil had dropped him too. I'm like, damn, he gonna have to do a lot to get back. But he got back though. He got back into that spot. So, you
yeah,
know, I know he probably wish he could get that fight back because a motherfucker beat me. I want to have to try to beat them. At least make it 1-1.
yeah,
If not, two
yeah.
one.
Because Jamel looked really good in his last fight. Jamel Harrington did like really
Yeah,
fuck. If I'm correct, he took dude out in the first round of that fight. So
yeah. I know he won his last fight though.
yeah, he looked really fucking good in it because it was like a Veterans Day fight or some shit like that.
Yeah,
If I'm correct that I saw him, but yeah, I mean I like Lamont. What I think he would do against the Navarrete with the size, I mean if he would be able to get inside with Navarrete at 130, I would
see
favor Navarrete
that's
probably
my
with that length and that
not to
awkwardness.
cut you off, but that's the perfect pressure I'm talking about. It's gonna be
Yeah,
hard for him.
yeah,
That
because he's gonna keep coming.
Neverate pressure is different. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
the dude ain't had that, and I am Neverate awkward. So yeah, that's the
yeah.
fight he had to be on his shit. But they talking about Foster though.
I think Foster's a better matchup for him because they're very similar in the style that they fight, and they're
Yeah,
probably going to be more in the middle of the ring, banging it out with each other than chasing each other around the ring or one
yeah.
a more aggressor. Saki always comes along later in the fights. He'll go 12 rounds, but he seems him. He's like that 11th, 12th round knockout. He's always kind of gets his guy and gets his win towards the end, especially in his last couple fights with Abraham Nova and then Rocky Hernandez, who he took both of them guys to the 11th, 12th, and then knocked them down in those rounds to win those fights. So I think him and our guy Roach would be a great matchup because their styles make fight. That would be a 50-50 fight for me.
Right.
Navarrete being orthodox in his
Yeah.
length, I would, to me, how would Roach get inside without continuously getting hit with one of those weird, awkward punches that Navarrete throws? Uh, so if I was him, I'd go after Shocky Foster first. Get two of those belts.
Yeah.
You know,
I wouldn't want him to fight never rotate anyway, because it's like you just had the belt, you just lost, so you got to come back down here and knock somebody off before I just give you a chance. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I take
Well, he
Foster
still
before I
holds his
take you.
belt at 130, if I'm correct.
Oh, he do?
He, yeah, because that belt wasn't on the line. He moved up to
Oh,
135 to
okay.
fight for that belt, but he didn't have to because he's got that super champ stamp, which means that he can jump up a division and he doesn't have to vacate his belt at 130.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, like Teofimo has that same thing. He can jump to 147, fight a Boo Tennis or a Crawford or somebody like that, and he doesn't have to vacate his belts at 140. So I guess that's a benefit. I don't really get how you get a super champ stamp, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But
I was gonna ask you how you get that, but I was like, I ain't even
yeah,
gonna
I
ask.
guess they just choose you. Like they just choose who they want to give that to. And I've only seen two people get it, and both guys have had losses on their record. So you know, I don't know, but I don't know. I think another guy at 130 that I haven't seen anybody mention is Lee Wood. He just moved up from 126. He's a pretty dangerous little fighter. Like you could be beating this dude's ass a whole fight, and he will land something on you with a heavy punch. He's pretty dangerous, but he's more of a British fighter. Uh, Wait to see how he's doing. But yeah, I was impressed with Roach. But like I said, the level of competition, we'll see. I want to see him. You know, he's got a belt, so I want to see him against another guy with a belt at 130, a top guy in that division. He deserves a
Yeah.
fight, and no reason for these guys to duck each other. Got them belts on the line. Now, my fight I'd like to talk about, of course, is Bam Bam Rodriguez going up against Francisco Estrada, the rising star versus the legend, man. I mean, Francisco Estrada is an absolute legend at 115. Super flyweight, beat guys like Chocolito and what I think what 3 or 4 fights they fought each other. Now Chocolito is a guy that Bam has been training with to try to get more of that veteran feel of what he's going to be getting from Estrada coming in. Man, this is a bigger fight at super flyweight than I think what a lot of people realize, because this is Bam's true test right here. Is he the guy
Hmm.
we think he is? And if you haven't watched him, man, he's a explosive little dude. Uh, but Francisco Estrada, man, he's a legend. He's only 34, so he's not like 38, 39-year-old dude coming in the ring. He's still 34. He still thinks he's in his prime. He's like, man, I got 4 years left. I think this is going to be possibly the fight of the year, in my opinion. I think these guys are going to go back and forth, and this is going to be the best test that Bam's had, and we're really going to get to see where he's at, and then what he can do, really, because he jumped up from 112 to 115. I think he goes back and forth between these three divisions. But he also talked about if he was able to beat Estrada, of course, he would try to fight Ioka next. But then after Ioka, he talked about possibly fighting Inoue. So I know you haven't watched him much, man, but what's your thoughts? Have you looked up these two guys or anything like that, man? What's your thoughts on this fight? I know you'll get.
I ain't looked them up. I was waiting to do the pleasure to watching it with you tonight. So
I'm telling you, man, that's going to be a treat for you. I really think it is, man, because these guys are smaller, and I know you're not real big on the smaller weights, but
yeah,
man, these guys are explosive. Who was it? Shakur Stevenson said that he trained with Bam Rodriguez, and he said, man, that
yeah.
dude hit me with a body shot, and he was like, and I'm like, how in the fuck can this little ass dude have that type of punch on him? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he's an explosive little dude, but Francisco Estrada is too, man. He's a beast also. Very smart in the ring. He's going to bring a lot of pressure, man. I'm very curious to see how Bam's going to handle it. You know what I mean? And like I said, he's either going to. I think he's the rising star. I favor him in this, but we're going to see. We're going to see how he handles. I'm watching some of these prelims on the DAZN right now. Some fight going on in
Mm.
Britain. I don't know any of these guys, but this dude just got knocked.
That's what channel will come on the zone tonight.
Yeah, tonight, yeah, that fight. Actually, I got some information on that here for you guys. Who all is going to be on that card? It's going to be on the zone. Of course, we get Francisco Estrada going up against Jesse Bam Rodriguez for the WBC and the ring super flyweight titles. And then Sonny Edwards is going to be on there. Sonny is who Bam fought last fight. Good little fighter, man. Glad to see him back in the ring, going up against Adrian Carrell in the flyweight. Atorio Papaka versus Danny Barros, super bantamweight, and then of course read the bottom of the rest guys. These guys are coming up. It'll be a nice little card.
It's a
Gabriel,
little buddy card I see. All
yeah.
them
It's got
dudes
a
is
lot of.
little for me.
Oh yeah. It's going to be one of those. That's what they try to do, man. On these cards, they don't try to really put any heavyweights in there. I don't think you ever see a heavyweight card on these smaller ones. They just try to give these smaller groups some love, and you'll get to see. I mean, they always make for good fights, man. These guys bang it out. They got a lot of speed. You know what I mean? So you get to see a lot of action, a lot of punches thrown. It's not, like a heavyweight fight where, two guys setting back. One guy might be active, the other guy just might be throwing a punch an
Yeah.
hour. So you get to see a lot more action in those lower weight classes. I'm a fan of them. I think it's going to be a hell of a card, man. On the zone, it's going to be starting. Of course, the prelims, they'll probably have the prelims on YouTube. And that'll start around like 4 o'clock today, if I'm correct. And then the main card for the Strata and stuff. The main card, I want to say I saw 6:30, so it'll be a little weird. So we might get that BAM fight. I don't know. It's in Arizona, so I'm thinking a BAM fight maybe by 9 or 10 on that fight. But yeah, I'm gonna have a double TV down here tonight because we got that Teofimo Lopez fight also. Now let's get more over to that fight, man. What do you think about who Teo's fighting? I don't know the guy he's fighting.
He fight
You know,
tonight?
yeah. Teo fights Steve Claggett tonight, man. It's not a dangerous
I ain't
dude. He's
been
like,
promoting that shit like that.
nah, no. They announced it, but it was just one of those like, hey, Teo's gonna fight Steve Claggett. They didn't really even say when, and then just a couple weeks ago, I look and I'm like, damn, that's coming up in 2 weeks. Like, what the fuck? Like no, there was zero promotion on that fight, honestly, because Steve Claggett's more of a. I mean, he's like 38-7-2, if I'm correct, is his record. So this isn't a dangerous fight for Teo. The guy's got the experience, all that type of shit. But I think I don't know, man. I don't get at this point
140 though. What he doing?
why are you fighting a tune-up fight at this point?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Like it doesn't make sense. Like for top rank, you don't have anybody else you could have thrown in there with him at 140. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. That
Don't
fight
make
to
no
even have,
sense.
hey, maybe Steve Claggett surprises us. It's boxing. Sometimes you see weird shit happen, and but this guy, if I'm correct, he's like 38 years old, so he's an older fighter. I mean, so I don't know. This fight I'll have it on, but
He 38. Oh
undercard,
man. Come on.
yeah, older guy, and then of course the undercard too isn't anything spectacular. You will get Robeisy Ramirez on there tonight, of course, but then you get Nico Ali Wash, Muhammad Ali's grandson, who I've not really
Yeah.
been super impressed with him. He's very repetitive in his style, but he's going to do a rematch again, I think, against the guy who beat him in a decision. That's his
Oh,
rematch.
that's a rematch.
Yeah. So, a little get, and I haven't seen him. He was really active last year, but I haven't seen him much this year at all. I think
Probably
he
been
fought one
working. I think he
here.
been working on his craft probably. Cause I was
Yeah,
thinking the
we'll see
same
what he
thing.
does. He's got a nice little heavy punch on him, but he just doesn't know how to set it up. He doesn't know how to continuously stay active, keep his hands moving. His footwork wasn't that great from what I had seen from him. Of course, being Ali's son, they try to hype him a little bit. They were putting him on like every motherfucking every 2 months, 3 months, they were putting him on the
Yeah.
card.
He better get that win back tonight or it's
Yeah,
over.
yeah, because he didn't look great in that fight at all. He just wasn't active. He only had like maybe 1 or 2 good rounds. I think that's when it was doing 4 or 6 rounds. I think that might have been a 6 round fight. He'll have a 10 round fight. I
Yeah.
think it's 8 or 10 rounds a night. So he'll be
Yeah.
moving up a little bit. But like I said, not super impressed with him. We'll see what he's been working on. Maybe he impresses me more. He does have the ability. You can see that he has that boxing ability in him, in his
Tio
bloodline. But
might as well have moved up to 147. A tuna fight for 147 and fight this who we fighting tonight. That don't make
yeah.
no sense.
No, it doesn't. And it was just brought out of nowhere because they had talked about other guys that they thought he should go up against. I mean, why not try to make a fight against Pitbull, Cruz?
Yeah,
If I'm
like what?
right, isn't he with Top Rank, or am I mistaken? Or he's
Nah,
with PBC?
Pitbull.
I think.
I
He's with
don't.
PBC,
I don't
right?
know. Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
He was,
he's
but
with
I know he fighting with
PBC.
Crawford.
Yeah, they possibly could have made a fight with Subaru Mateus, before he set up that fight that he had. But supposedly Teo didn't want that. So I don't know. Maybe he just feels like he's got to get his rhythm back after that last fight.
The
Uh,
fall.
I just
What's your name? That had lost to
Ortiz won it,
no, that lost to Devin Haney.
and he lost to Loma too, right? Oh, you're talking about the guy that lost to Haney. I know who you're
That
talking
one that
about.
had the belt. I can't
Prograde,
think of his name right now, man.
Regis Prograde.
Yeah, he could have fought Regis
Yeah,
Progress or
fight
something.
Regis. Yep, yep. There's plenty of guys at 140
Damn.
that were bigger names than Steve Claggett. So yeah, I agree with that 100%, man. That was kind of a weak move on his part. Uh, I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to run that contract with Top Rank out.
But to say
Like
too, like that's what I was about to say too. Like maybe he just trying to.
he's like,
Is
I ain't
this
trying to
his
keep
last
y'all
fight?
in.
Nah, this can't be his last fight under him though.
I think if I'm right, he only had a 4 fight deal with him, and I feel like he's already fought 4 times for him. I
Yeah.
thought his last fight was his last fight with him, but I was wrong. Maybe he signed another fight deal with him that I'm not aware of, but I know if I'm correct, it was like a 4 fight deal, maybe a 5 fight deal. Might have been a 5 fight. I don't really get that. I wouldn't sign a 5 fight deal with any promotional company at this point. And a lot of them don't have that, that stable. Like PVC might be for 140, a good place for him to go to. But Devin's kind of a free agent right now too. The zone hasn't really, like they said, that was only a 1 fight deal with the zone. So he's a free agent out there right now. I think he's just going to take some time off. Devin Haney. I mean, he's become a villain for getting cheated. Like that's America for you. We're gonna make this guy the villain after he got cheated. I mean,
I
we
don't
don't
think.
know.
I
Yeah,
don't. I think it's just his character, what type of dude he is, what type of character his dad is. Like it ain't just him being a villain for losing. I think it's just their character. Cause I was fucking with him, and then I started seeing this character and how they act and the
he
shit they
kind of
just
come off
be
like a
like.
sore loser. Yeah, like he did kind of
They
come off
come
as
off like arrogant too. Like you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Well, I mean, he
what
did make
being
statements
arrogant about dissing the motherfuckers y'all know that's good too though. Like you feel me? Like I hate when
talking that
boxers be
shit.
like,
Yeah,
"Oh, bro, you know this man good. Just give him his props, and
yeah,
we
yeah,
gonna go."
just
Like, man.
yeah.
Or y'all, they did major hating. Like they was just hating. Like they hated they way to the top, doing hella hating. Like I'm talking about
Well, that
too
that
much
shit
hating.
definitely got noticed, man. I mean, you see it in social media, the news outlets. Like he's not a popular guy. And I mean, people are like, I don't give a fuck if Ryan used PEDs or not. That's how much they dislike him. And I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, what would you have done? Like, how do you make people hate you so much? Like, I don't know. It's just
And then
weird.
not even that. He put out he was happy dancing when he got his O back. Like you should have been like, nah, I'm fuck that. I'm trying to come back for
Yeah,
blood. I'm trying
yeah.
to come back for
Like, I
him.
don't want the O. I want another fight with him clean
Yeah.
at my way.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Run
I
it
mean,
back.
I'll
When
take
you,
the O off
yeah,
my record, but you should have been talking a little bit, not on dancing and shit. Like, man,
yeah,
nah, you supposed to be. I'm feeling some type of way. Like, we got
yeah,
to make this happen as soon as possible. I ain't taking no break. Like, it's on.
yeah.
I had a long enough break. Like, you know what I'm saying? As soon as he come back, let this be its own.
Yeah,
Like,
because if you're Devin Haney, you can honestly take about 6 months off. You know, what I mean, he's been so active the
yeah,
last few that it's like nobody's going to blame you if
yeah,
you take 6 months off to rebound from that L you took and trying to
yeah,
process what the fuck happened that night. Yeah, you can
yeah.
probably do what's on TVs, but you still got to ask yourself why the fuck you kept getting hit with that left. I mean, I know that he was so stunned after that first one that it kind of he was a
yeah.
deer in headlights after that, but you just continuously got hit with that, man. So definitely, I would look to shore up my mechanics. And what I do like about his dad is his dad sends him out to work with anybody. I mean, anybody he thinks might benefit his son, they don't just stay with one guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I've always liked is he learns different styles from different people. If they weren't in such bad graces with Floyd Mayweather, that might be a good dude to teach you some more defensive skills since you don't have much of a jaw. So now you really have to become more of a defensive fighter with these bigger, heavier punchers like Teofimo Lopez at 140. He connects, he's going to knock Haney out. But I mean, think about it though.
Mm-hmm.
Haney did get up from every one of them fucking punches. Like that, he don't have a jaw, but he did show heart, and
Tough.
not get knocked the fuck out.
He showed great toughness.
Yeah. But
But
I don't
guess
think he's
what?
gonna knock for
Them
that.
knockout is not that's it's different from it's different power. It's shocking power, like goddamn. Like and where you
Yeah,
could get up. You know when a motherfucker just hit you with that good shot and you fall on your ass and
you
you get
got a
up?
little dizzy headness, and you're like,
Yeah,
ooh, okay,
that tank. knockout.
Yeah.
Oh, when he hits you, you going to
We
sleep.
know a tank
See, it's
connects with it, and
different.
that motherfucker is not getting
See,
up.
Ryan
Yeah.
got that shocking shit. Like, it just come and you don't see it.
Yeah.
It come, boom, and hit you. You down. It ain't got no. It ain't gonna put your lights out. Like I ain't ever seen him really like put nobody lights out getting up. I done seen where he hit a motherfucker. They stung and shit, and they trying to get up and recover. But when Tank hit you, there's no
Yeah.
recover.
Yeah, there isn't. Like you
See,
get
he hit
knocked out.
he,
You literally
but he hit
you go to
Ryan.
sleep waking
Ryan
up and
was
get knocked out.
Ryan. Yeah, when he hit Ryan, it was a recovery because that first is because it was a shocking punch. It was like boom, it was there. But
Yeah.
when he hit him with that body, it was over. Like that shot
Yeah.
shut him down. Just like Rolly. If he would Rolly got up, but Rolly was through. And if he would have jumped on Rolly, it
Well,
would have been over. You get what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
it's just two different type of like you got the shock where it shock you, boom, you get up, all right. And that's what basically Ryan was hitting him with, like hitting him with that boom, shocking power.
Yeah.
But it ain't putting him out for real. Tank got that turn your lights out.
Yeah.
And,
Where
and then
but as
like
far as go ahead.
then like it just little shit they do like Devin Haney like you put y'all put the tape out after you got beat after Tank fight like bro it's way too late for that now you should have put that
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
out
Like
you should have
nobody
got
should
a
have
hold
seen
of
that
that shit
shit.
you should have got a hold of that shit before you fought Ryan like Tank there ain't
Yeah.
nobody trying to see that now ain't nobody even really get that shit as much talk as they when that tape came out about you and Tank you know what I'm saying so you put that shit out no you had wrong timing my boy and we
Yeah.
watched it. And like Tank said, he said everything he never said. Everything he said was true. He started getting I was out of shape. This and that. Floyd was holding me all in my face, which Floyd was. You know what I'm saying? Holding his arms all in Tank face against Tank at that time. And then
Yeah.
you sucker punched him and they ain't even do nothing to him. Let him would have did hit you with a sucker punch like that. He'd have put your ass out. You
He put
feel
that
me?
ass up on
Like,
the canvas.
man,
Yeah.
what? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And then I
But
think that's what people saying. Tank hit you, and Tank is left-handed. He's southpaw.
yeah.
So you let Ryan hit you with this left hook. If Tank do hit you, bro,
And it's not if he
and he gonna
does
hit you.
win. It's when he's gonna hit you. You know what I mean?
He
So
gonna
that's
hit you. Everybody
he's
act like
going.
he's gonna touch you. That's just like Shakur. Like that's my boy. Like too. I ain't saying who I think gonna lose or not lose, but he's going to touch you, Shakur. Don't think you're going
Yeah.
in a fight and not to get touched, bro. You ain't fight. You fighting somebody elite, just like you on the same type level, bro. He's going to touch you, bro,
Yeah. We get
and he
that
don't
Shakur fight
mind letting you. He
next
don't
week, right?
mind letting you touch him to touch you.
Mhm. Yeah, he wants to do is kind of what how he sets things up. He took that big punch from Martin and almost like it didn't even fucking phase him. And it was definitely a
Right.
punch that most guys are going to go down on. Beautiful counter by Martin when he had him in that corner and Martin just countered it. Pow, hit him with a flush shot. That motherfucker walked it off and just kept going forward,
Mm-hmm.
head down, moved to the side a little bit, fucking went for it. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't phase this motherfucker. Like he's got a jaw on him
He got a
too.
Mexican chin, bro. Got a
Yeah,
Mexican chin, bro.
yeah.
Real talk.
So what do you think Teo has to show us tonight? Does he just need to dominate
Dominance.
Steve Nugget? Just
Dominance,
pure yeah,
especially who he fighting. He better show us dominance. Shouldn't go
yeah,
past 5.
yeah. So you think him and Devin Haney next? Why not? I think that's a good
Man,
fight for both of them.
shit, Devin better get that Ryan Garcia get back first. I ain't gonna lie,
Well,
he
so
need to come with a
you think he should take a year off? I mean, that's a long time to take off for
nah,
anybody.
hell nah. But I don't think he
Years.
should come and fight somebody like Teo. He need a tune up right now
Well, they're
and
saying
get
one of the
build his
or more. Yeah, like
huh.
they just named they named Devin the champion recess for the WBC title, and
Mm-hmm.
he has to fight the winner of the Sandor Martin versus I can't remember the other dude's name. Two mandatory dudes that they're going to make fight each other because he was supposed to, and that's another thing that doesn't make any sense. Like a fucking week or two after that Ryan Garcia fight, these committees are like, "Oh, you need to make a choice. You're what you're going to do with the belt. Are you going to fight your mandatory?" Just a week after we saw, 2 weeks after we saw the kind of beating that he took, and they're in there trying to make him make a decision on his belt and his future. And it's like, back the fuck up, man. It was 2 weeks ago. Give this kid time to process everything that fucking went on, and then allow him to make that decision. That if he wants to fight Sandor Martin, who was his mandatory, and like he said, the money's not there. Why am I going to fight this guy? Sandor
Yeah.
Martin, a fighter, but this is where that mandatory bullshit comes in. Why the fuck is Sandor
Yeah,
Martin?
they was trying to give him 2.4 million. Like, hell no.
Yeah, yeah, and he's just
I'll
like, look,
fight.
I'm in
I'll wait
a
till Ryan
contract.
come back and fight him and make more money than that. And
Exactly.
it's probably gonna and it's
Become a
probably
team.
gonna do way better than it did last time.
Yeah, I would
Just
like
because
his
of the
chances against
storyline.
Subaru Mateus. You know what I mean? And we saw Subaru Mateus become a little human after his last fight. Even though I think it could be dangerous for anybody to fight him next because he's going to want to show, you know, get his get back. Like that loss he
Yeah.
took from Liam Paro. He's definitely, I think he could be dangerous coming into the next fight. You know what I mean? Because he's going to want to show the world. He said he wasn't comfortable with fighting at home either. We didn't even talk about that fight last time, the Subaru Mateus and Liam Paro fight. We completely missed that one. But there was so much going on. But of course, guys, we saw Liam Paro with the upset over Subaru Mateus, who was the favorite in that fight. But it was a hell of a fight, man. It was like a phone booth type of fight. These dudes were banging it out. Uh, but Paro just had the better night overall. It wasn't like a one-sided fight. You know what I mean? It was a great fight. Subaru just came on a little too late. And then, he came on the middle rounds and then he took the lower rounds off, came around the middle rounds, fought a really great fight in the middle rounds, but didn't finish the fight. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about that all the time. It doesn't matter what you do in the early rounds, the middle, it's how you
Right.
finish out a fight, the championship. That's what they're going to really kind of judge you off of most is how you finish that fight out. But yeah, he didn't finish that out. So you know how that goes. Let's move over. I think I got some boxing news, man. We got a little bit of boxing news. Of course, Alexander Usyk vacates his IBF belt because, of course, the IBF is very strict with their mandatories, and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna go fight this dookie ass guy, even though you got a rematch clause, and we know you got
Yeah.
a rematch clause. We're still gonna hold you accountable for some bullshit ass mandatory against who would have been Daniel Tobias, who he already beat. We don't want to see that fight over a Fury fight. Uh,
It's
I
nobody
mean,
for him to fight, bro.
no, I mean,
Who's
think
this?
about it. There's nobody on his fucking level, like not even
Yeah,
close.
that's what I'm saying. It's really nobody unless he do the Tyson Fury rematch. Like it's nobody for him to
That's the
fight,
best
bro.
fight for him. And then, I mean, I don't know, man. I look at this heavyweight division and I'm like, it's terrible. Like it's not like I give Dubai and Parker and Joshua. Oh yeah, great. You guys are getting your get back. You're showing some heart after taking losses, all that other shit. But it's a weak ass fucking division, man. It's like literally Usyk Fury, and then the gap between Usyk and Fury is way too fucking much, bro. Like it's just a trickle down. Now, if you took Usyk and Fury out of that division, right, and you have the guys in there, then yeah, it seems like a lot better division because they're all pretty evenly
Yeah,
matched.
yeah,
So they
yeah,
make
yeah,
great
yeah,
fights.
yeah,
But
yeah,
once
yeah,
you get
yeah,
up to
yeah.
the top dog level, the gap is
Yeah.
way too fucking big. Like they're not even
Yeah, they
close
they they they
to
gonna
Fury
box
level.
some motherfuckers' heads off.
And I know a lot of the Brits are gonna disagree with me on AJ because they love Anthony Joshua. But for me, man, he's had like his get back's nice. But the talent level he's fighting isn't even close to top talent. Everybody talked about
Right.
Valine being all this, and I'm like, Valine had one decent fight under his belt, in my opinion, against Fury, who he gave a tough little fight to. But outside of that, he's not really been his resume is not that impressive. Uh, and then we saw what Joshua did to him. But I just feel like Joshua's get back is great, but the gap on the guys he's fighting compared to when he goes back up to fight a Usyk or a Fury, that's a big gap. Now,
Yeah, that's a different gap. Yeah, like
yeah,
like you said, you take them two out, then you got a regular degular. Yeah, anybody can be what they want to be, but now like it's like coming up. Is it somebody else that's coming up with Jared? Like
there was supposed to be
who?
another guy I keep hearing about, Devin Haney supposed to be Bill Haney's fighter or something like that.
Oh
And
man,
they're
he ass,
trying to
man. He
emulate.
ass. I watched one of
Yeah,
his
they
fights,
were trying
bro.
to hype
Oh
him.
my god, bro, it was terrible. I seen him fight like twice, bro. I'm talking about, bro. Jared to beat him, bro. Like
Yeah,
he was too patient. I think it was his last fight, bro. It was just like, bro, like come on, bro. Like
yeah.
he he, he even said it. Like, I know you talking about. He got the dreads. Exactly who you talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. If I'm correct, he was on that fucking Ryan Garcia card because they were hyping him up and this badass heavyweight, but he just didn't look that great to me. Uh, and then what the hell was I just thinking? I fucking lost track. But yeah, I mean, like we talked about with the heavyweight division, I just think it's a little bit, not that great. It's just too big of a gap. Oh yeah, I'd love to see Anderson, Big Baby Anderson, Jared, go over to the UK, fight guys like Dubai, Parker, Zhang, those type of guys, because that
Yeah.
would really test his level, man, to see where he's at, because those guys are pretty active, and those would be really great talented fights for him around the level that I think Jared's at right now in his career is on a Parker Dubai type level. Now I don't know, like because I said you can put Joshua a little bit farther up, but there's still a gap with Joshua on the top two guys, in my opinion. Maybe he gives Fury a good fight, because Fury sometimes, like he said, Fury himself said, in that Usyk fight, he talked about exactly what you talked about, getting hit in the nose in the eighth round. I mean, he said, look, I played around. I had too much fun in that fight, and in the eighth round, I paid for it. He said in the ninth round, I paid for it
Yeah, he
again.
did too much playing
He said,
around. That's what it
yeah,
was. He did too
he said,
much. He could have,
yeah,
if he would have started putting him. I'm telling you, if he would have fought him, how he fought Deontay Wilder that third
yeah,
fight, bro,
big
or
risk,
even
yeah,
that second fight, without all that plan, putting his weight on forward, bro, he would have. After the eighth round, he would have won if he would have started fighting
yeah,
like that, putting his weight
yeah,
on
yeah,
him,
yeah, yeah.
smashing
That's
him,
very
grabbing
true.
him, using his
Yeah,
jab, keeping him, putting the pressure on. He would have won. He could have won easily, bro. I seen it,
yeah,
bro. But he started, like you said, he started playing around, bro. He let
yeah,
that
and
man. That man ain't win. That man. He took it for real, bro. He put him back
yeah.
in the fight too, though.
Oh
He
yeah, he
took him
absolutely
out of
did.
that
And
fight for real.
but yeah, but that's a credit that I also give to Usyk, that he's the type of guy you can't do that with Usyk. Like he's too
Yeah.
very high IQ, and he's always looking. I guess, especially knowing he was down in that fight, so he knew like I'm down. I'm down in this. I'm not winning this
Hmm.
fight. We're going in the eighth round, and I'm lucky if I won one or two rounds of this fight. I'm down, and he knew like, and that's why like Fear said you can't play around. You give him that opportunity, get popped in your nose, that whole fucking fight changed. You know what I mean? He couldn't
Hmm.
breathe correctly. You like it fucks with your eyes, everything. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
just, but I think the second fight is going to be a hell of a fight. That's supposed to be December. I look forward to that one. That's going to be nice. A little bit more news. We got a little bit more news. Of course, Usyk vacates the belt. Daniel Dubai gets elevated to the IBF champion, where they emailed him the belt. So
Why is
now
they emailing these guys these
it
belts,
makes no
bro?
sense. It makes no sense to me why you give anybody a fucking
Email
belt.
me. Fuck it. I love to defend that
Yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah,
Let me see, 154. I come in at 160, 154 or something, man.
yeah. And then
Email me
after
the
they did
belt,
that,
goddamn.
they announced that Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubai have signed and announced a fight for September. I think September 10th was the date on that. But instead of giving Daniel the belt, just put it up as a vacant belt for this fight, and the winner gets the
Yeah,
belt.
vacant and has two people
Well,
fight for it, bro.
yeah, yeah.
That's
I
how
think this,
motherfucker gain fans, bro. That's how you gain
yeah,
more.
yeah. You
Like,
earn
come
that
on, man.
belt. You
More
know what I'm
people to
saying? Like
watch.
nobody. Yeah, exactly. Now you got a belt that's vacant, and these two guys are fighting for it instead of, oh, Danny Dubai comes in as a champion after losing to Usyk. You know what I mean? And yeah, he got his get back. I'm sorry, Jared Miller isn't a get back to me. That dude shouldn't even be in a ring. Like you'll see that with that bullshit. I think Andy Ruiz is fighting him. Jared Miller shouldn't even be allowed in the fucking ring. He is a four-time fucking steroid failure. Like he shouldn't even be allowed in boxing. Like I don't get how he still gets fights. But yeah, that fight with Dubai and Jared Miller, I wasn't impressed with that. His last fight against Hergovich, he impressed me. I had Hergovich up on my list of guys that I thought, hey, he's right around that 4 or 5 mark. in the heavyweight division, and he handled Hergovich
I
pretty
ain't
well.
like
So
him. I ain't like
he
him.
didn't impress me in that fight at all. He has impressed me
Yeah,
in the
I ain't like
past
him,
in a
bro.
couple of his fights.
I remember
He
you
had a
saying his
great fight
name, but
against
I'm
Mag.
like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, he didn't. He definitely didn't impress me in his last fight. But yeah, they announced that one. I think that'd be a good little fight, Dubai versus Anthony Joshua. Uh, I think they're
What
trying to
about
set it.
Dubai versus Ruiz, Andy Ruiz?
We'll see what Andy does in this fight he's got coming up in August. He's on that Crawford card, so we'll see what he does against Miller. He's been out of the ring for almost 2+ years, maybe. We ain't
Yeah.
seen him in a while, man. So I mean that ring rust is a real thing. So that could play a big part in him coming back. But we'll see how he looks. If he looks good, if he can get.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm downstairs, fool. Can I help with groceries? I'm right in the middle of my show. No, but yeah, I mean, I think that would be a good fight. But I think they're trying to set Joshua up for an easy road to get back to the championship, fight Usyk or Fury again. Obviously, I think him fighting Fury is a bigger fight than Usyk. We already saw him fight Usyk twice, lose to him twice. I'd rather see him against Fury
Yeah.
than Usyk. But that's what they want to do. Britain loves Anthony Joshua, and they have absolutely made the easiest route they could for him to get back to championship status. So we'll see. I'm 50-50 on Joshua. I like his get back, but like I keep telling people, the level of talent he's fighting is below like a Jared Miller and these other guys. Like he's fighting like fucking taxi cab drivers pretty much. Robert Helenius, who's ever been impressed with Robert fucking Helenius? Nobody. His best fight would have been Otto Wallin, and his resume doesn't even hold up in my opinion. And then of course, Ngannou, that dude's not even a boxer. So I got to see what he does against the bot. We'll see, but I think they're setting his ass up for an easy route, of course. And of course, David Benavidez has been granted a 2-week extension by the WBC as he decides what weight class he will continue his career in, either the 168 or 175. They want to keep him as a mandatory at 168, but he's now making a decision what weight class he wants to go to. What's your thoughts on that?
168. You're gonna go to 168.
Yeah, he should. I mean, that Canelo fight's there. Why would you go to 175? Like
I
you gotta
think
wait for it.
175 took a little bit, took a lot out of him, for
Yeah,
real.
yeah. And then
But
with the surgeries, he's gonna have to have. I don't know. He's saying he may not have to have surgery. He's just looking at possibly some recovery time with his wrists and shit like that. So
yeah,
we'll see how that's handled with him. But man, overall, I don't know, man. I think he's 168 is a better division for him. You get the chance at that
yeah.
Canelo fight, but I think the WBC, if you're going to grant him an extension, then you gotta force that Canelo fight. You have to
Man,
force your fucking.
they be putting extensions and all this shit on people, man. Like this is boxing, man. Should be able to. If I want to fight here, I could go here. If I want to do this, I want to
Yeah,
go here. Like, what the fuck is with all this 2 weeks to let us know what? Like what? Like, bro, I've been
yeah.
here for so long, and I've been the mandatory. Now y'all giving me a 2 week extension to let y'all know what I want to do,
What
and
I
y'all
want to
been
do,
knowing what
and
I
it
wanted
should
to
be,
do. Like,
yeah,
what type of
and
shit is
that
this,
Canelo
man?
fight, yeah. And then they, acting like they care, like, oh yeah, we want him to be that. What's the point if he's been the mandatory for 2+ years now? And he hasn't gotten the fight he should have gotten. We've watched Canelo fight every motherfucker who's not a mandatory, and the WBC has been just fine with it. So to me, you got to force your fucking hand and say, look, you either vacate that belt or you fight your mandatory. Bottom line, man, if it's not about what you want, you hold the belts. Now, if you weren't a belt holder, more fucking power to you on fighting whoever the fuck you want to fight. But since you're a belt
Right.
holder and you hold 3 of the 4 belts because he just gave up the IBF belt because he didn't want to fight the mandatory, some dude they were trying to make a mandatory. IBF got some weird ass mandatories, bro. Like I don't fucking get it at all. They be dudes you ain't never fucking heard of in your whole life. You know what I mean? And like it's weird, but he vacated that belt, so now he only holds 3 of the 4. But it's like you're holding those 3 belts hostage, man. If you ain't going to defend them against your mandatory, like a David Benavidez, then what the
Right.
fuck, man? What's the point of even like just take the belts and fight whoever you want, but vacate those belts? And then these committees not like you're holding everybody else accountable for not fighting mandatories, but you're letting Canelo do whatever the fuck he wants. Like,
Man, that shit is weak as fuck.
yeah,
Y'all should have gave Canelo 2 weeks.
yeah,
Fuck is
yeah.
y'all
You got
talking
2 weeks
about?
to decide. If you don't want to fight David
Y'all giving a
Benavidez,
motherfucker that's
you're gonna
trying to
vacate
fight
the
Canelo
fucking
two
belt.
weeks,
Yeah,
but y'all ain't giving Canelo 2 weeks to decide. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
yeah,
The
because we
fuck
know he's
out
not
of
going
here.
to fight DB in September because of DB's wrists and all that, and he's probably going to fight weak ass motherfucking Berlanga. Makes no sense. Nobody wants to fucking see that fight.
I won't
Berlanga's
even watch that, bro.
nah. But man, that wraps it up for us today. Of course, my guy Big Spade, do what you do, man. Take us out this motherfucker. Let them know how we do it on bourbon
And
and boxing, baby.
thanks for joining us on Bourbon and Boxing, man. Y'all already know, subscribe, comment. We going up, subscribers getting up, views getting up, we going up, and we getting up to do this shit. So you already
Yeah,
know, man. Like, subscribe, comment. My boy Big Jeff, you feel me? Big Spade, man. Birthday Monday, about to be big Kevin Durant
yeah,
out here. The old Kevin Durant before the Achilles injury. You feel me?
yeah.
So man, yeah, watch us, tune in and comment, man. Let us know what y'all think, man.
Hell yeah. Like you said, man, do all that and join us tonight, man. We're gonna go live for the Bam Rodriguez.
One
Uh
live. I gotta watch Bam for my boy, man.
yeah, yeah, we're gonna watch that fight. Of course, we'll tune into the Teo fight, what's going on there. I'm not really big. The undercard ain't that great on that. So
Yeah.
but we'll be tuning into that a little bit too. But join us live tonight, man. Thanks for joining us for episode 69 of Bourbon and Boxing, baby, man. Thank you guys. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy your day. Peace.
Peace.